Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today on Financial Fitness Friday, we're going to talk about control the controllables, right? Leave the rest to God. Here's what I'm going to tell you. From this is all based on a financial standpoint, okay? How you operate your business, how you operate your life, and what can you control versus what you got to leave to God. And so I'll tell you a couple things, and this is super important because around the holidays, this kind of gets out of whack. Everyone wants to start the year off with massive goals. Well, the only way to hit those massive goals is to get your daily wins every day. And part of what we're going to discuss is going to help you do that. All right. So first off, what can you control, right? You can control the amount of hours you work for the most part. I know that sounds weird, but you can. All right. You can control your credit score to a degree. You can control your spending habits. Okay. And you can control your marketing efforts, right? Why to market? The average person doesn't need to worry about marketing efforts. Okay. But the business owner, the guy who wants to go from 1 million to 2 million, he needs to be all over that. All right. The business owner that wants to take his business from doing 2 million to 4 million, he has to control his credit because without the ability to have access to cash, without the ability to get leverage, okay, it's going to be very tough. And so this is what I mean. Now, what can't you control? Well, you can't control how many people come in any given day. You can't control who hits your ads, right? You can't control everything outside of what we discussed. But here's what I mean. Business owners, if you're not using social media, if you're not putting out valuable content, if you are not trying to solve your clients' problems live in front of them, okay, if you are not posting and demonstrating how you solve these problems, all right, you are missing out. You are not winning. And you are actually at some point going to get beat by somebody who does understand that if they can demonstrate that they can solve the challenges for your clients, you're going to lose. All right. I'll give you a great example. I post case studies all the time. Okay. I show people our process. Why do I show people our process? Well, because when you see how the process works, all right, you will understand why it's so effective, why it gets the results it does, and it's proof of concept. All right. We live in a day and age where everybody wants to know that you can get the job done and that you can get it done quick, fast, and with a high level of certainty. All right. What else can you control? You can control your credit, guys. All right. What do I mean by controlling your credit? Well, not overspending. Okay. And that goes into spending habits, making sure all your bills are paid. Right. Great way to boost your credit. Pay your credit cards on the statement date or a day before the statement date and not the due date. Right. Try to pay them off in full every single month. Having high credit gives you options. You don't have to use the options, but it gives you options. All right. And without those options, entrepreneurs, when they need money, make mistakes. They take high cost capital. All right. They forego a project that might double or triple their business. And they end up fighting the same fight. Spending habits. Businesses that spend more than they take in go out of business. People that spend more than they take in run up a ton of debt and go bankrupt. We have been ingrained, unfortunately, in this country to keep up with the Joneses and to spend everything that you can, right? That is not the way. You guys need to be able to figure out, hey, if I'm bringing in 10,000 a month, or if you're a business and you're bringing in 100,000 a month, well, if your fixed costs are about 50,000, right? Where's the rest of that money going? It should be reinvested into the company. Okay. And by the way, the company should have a savings account or a corporate treasury. All right. No different than you, the individual. If you're bringing in 10,000 a month You should keep your fixed costs around 5, 6,000. The rest should be saved or invested. All right. The guys that bring in 10,000 and spend 13,000, they're the ones that blow up. They're the ones that wind up in trouble. Okay. That is a massive problem that we have. And until we all address it, it's not going to go away. Dave, what are your thoughts on these things, controlling these controllables?
Yeah, I mean they still tie into to every other controllable that we talk about, man. I mean you're spot on, but I still don't believe none of that gets done if you control your personal controllables, non-business, right? So in other words, what are you putting in your mind, right? What are you controlling? Just put those good things in your mind, and like you said in the beginning, let God handle the rest. What are you doing for your physical, right? Are you waking up and getting after it every day? Are you taking care of your body? And I know that doesn't have anything to do with the financial side, but it actually
It,
does.
it does, bro. I can
Because
prove it right now.
right, because it definitely, that's why I said most people don't think that it does, but it does. Because if you're not sharp, you're not going to be able to get after it. You're not going to have the focus. You're not going to have the grit when something goes wrong, because let's be real, things are going to go wrong. Okay. Like you were saying about things you can't control. Well, team member leaves, right? A critical team member leaves. Piece of tech goes down, right? You can't control those things most of the time. So what do? Do you get derailed, right? Because your mind's not locked in, because you're not doing the tangibles that takes to stay locked in, or you're going to be like, all right, man, you know what? This was meant to happen, whether I like it or not. But what's the task at hand? What's the focus? You need to stay locked in and keep going. I mean, I think a lot of people's problems in general, it's just a lack of focus. It's too many distractions. You got social media up your butt like all day on your phone, not doing the right things. So how can you stay focused in order to run these plays that you're talking about? It's the old adage, man. Too much time on your hands. That the If you're not locked in on the calendar, it's the old adage. What the idle mind's the devil's playground.
Yep.
I wanted to read something really good because I actually read this yesterday, and this is Romans 13 and verse 8 through 10. It actually goes really well with what we're talking about here, and I'm gonna get a little spiritual on you guys.
Love it.
Yeah, man. So this is love fulfills the law. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever love others to have fulfilled the law. Let the commandments: you shall not commit adultery, you shall not commit murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and for whatever command there may be, summed up in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor. There is love in the fulfillment of the law. Okay, but talking about here, like even like read that first verse. Let no debt remain outstanding. I think it ties together a little bit with what we're talking about. Not completely, but it is. It all goes hand in hand, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, what I would say is this, guys. I love that, dude. You have to focus is a big part, but being back to like what you can control and how physical fitness and what you put into your body dictates how you perform. Okay. First off, if you are a face to face business, okay, there's a higher trust factor when people are in shape and they take care of themselves. That's the truth, guys. I didn't make that up. It's the truth. Okay. You are more likely to do business and trust somebody that is in shape, that is presentable, and dresses the part, looks the part, than somebody that is overweight, all right, or dresses sloppy. Two, when you are unhealthy, okay, you do not have the same level of energy, right? That same level of energy. So if you get tired after working from, let's say, 9 to 1, but I can go from 9 to 7, 9 to 8, and I can keep my energy levels up the entire time, I'm going to be way more impactful. All right. On top of that, selling is a transfer of energy. All right. So if you're mopey, if you're in a bad mood, right, you are not going to have that type of energy that you can take care of what you need to take care of. All right. So physical fitness, mental fitness is a big part of this. And when I say mental fitness, again, selling is a transfer of energy. So your state, if you're in a bad mental state, right, you're not going to be closing a lot of deals. You are not going to be as successful as you need to be. So when we talk about controlling the controllables, while yes, from a financial aspect, all right, good financial habits, controlling your credit, controlling your marketing, controlling the hours you work, that's going to move the needle from a money standpoint. All right. But underneath that, you have what are you reading on a daily basis? Are you reading some like sitcom type of fictional book, or are you reading strategies on business and sales and tactics that is fueling your mind with ideas that can help you and propel you forward, right? Are you chowing down on donuts and not working out, right? And if you feel sluggish and lethargic, or are you eating just meat and vegetables and working out and drinking a ton of water?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a big difference. It's also a big difference in the quality of your life, right? Inputs equal outputs, guys. That's it. There's nothing else. And so the better the inputs, the better the outputs. And guys, that is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because the more you do it, the more momentum you build. The more momentum you build, the more you want to carry it forward. All right. And the people that do really, really well understand the power of momentum, and you never do anything to disrupt it. You always want to harness it, fuel it, charge it, and keep moving forward. All right. And so a lot of you guys, you get a win and you celebrate a little bit, and it turns into I'm celebrating a little bit too long. And then the worst part is you don't remain humble. Okay. You get that win. You think it's all because of you, because of something that you did. And then you stop doing the little things that made you get to that point. And then you have a down cycle. All right. And if you're not self-aware, you don't get yourself out of that down cycle quick enough. All right. It's a paradox, guys. And the people that understand it, the people that can be self-aware, the people that can consistently pay attention to the details, okay, are the people that win long term.
Yeah, man. So, you talk about personal development too, or reading personal development books. One of the things I've been doing recently is I've been studying people, right? Study other people, read some biographies. Allen Iverson's book is really good right now. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. And I'll tell you something like really good to watch that really ties all this together from the financial, right, and the personal side. Whether you like them or don't, whether you like both of them or don't, I think everybody should go on Joe Rogan's podcast and watch the episode with Jelly Roll. And it's really amazing to see somebody who's got his financial life, but his whole physically appearance downward spiral. This guy lost 250 pounds in the last 2 years. And he went from 500 to 250, and he's on a target now to 190. To weigh in 190, he's running 5Ks. He's doing crazy stuff with Cam Hanes and David Goggins. Like, you guys should check it out. It's really an awesome story, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you on Mindset Monday. Take care.
Be great, Joe.